That's the highest since February. Many economists are warning that the full repercussions from the tit-for-tat tariffs between Washington and Beijing will not be felt for weeks.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. We made it to a Friday. It is the 11th day of April for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day. All of your news, weather, and sports, plenty to talk about on this Friday. The Nebraska men's basketball program has officially signed Iowa transfer Price Sanford. We'll tell you about that coming up. The baseball and softball teams have a busy weekend as well. Hastings College baseball team playing a 4-game series this weekend at Briar Cliff. The softball team is going to be at home to take on the College of St. Mary's in a doubleheader tomorrow afternoon. Some action you'll be able to hear here on Extreme Sports. High school baseball yesterday. Adams Central continues red hot. The Patriots win their 6th straight game as they beat Holdridge by the score of 11-1. Some changes coming up for 8-man football in the state of Nebraska coming up soon, which could have an impact on the finals at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. Also, the NSAA meeting yesterday, the board of directors, and approving a new co-op between Harvard and Giltner in boys and girls basketball. Just some of the things we'll be talking about today. Nebraska football continues their spring football practice. We're going to hear from offensive coordinator Dana Holgerson on the show here today. Plus, it's Friday, and that means we've got horse talk today. Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network will join us at 7:30 today to get you set up for another busy weekend of action up at Fauner Park and across the nation as we get to the Kentucky Derby here in a couple of weeks. So the plate is full again for a Friday as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Plate is full on a Friday. We're talking ponies today. It'll be the inaugural weekend with the brand new Grand Island Fauner Park Casino and Resort that they cut the ribbon on yesterday. We'll talk about that in the news. There's another place in the Tri-Cities that also had a ribbon cutting last night for another big exciting venture with the new Sportsplex over in Kearney. So we will get to that story as well. And then we'll kind of recap the week that was a wild week in Washington, D.C. With tariffs here. Nope, they're not. We're pulling those out. Now we're putting those back in. Oh, we're going to double the tariffs on China. We'll try to simplify it all. And we even have a audio clip from Don Bacon, the U.S. Congressman from Nebraska, who has been kind of a lone wolf Republican in fighting some of these tariffs out there in Washington, D.C. So we'll get to all those stories and more. But like you said, most importantly, it's Friday as we make it to the end of our work week. Hell of a baseball game you had yesterday.
Had a great game yesterday with Adams Central beating Holdridge 11-1. Hunter Neppel, big ball game. Patriots have won 6 in a row. They're going to play Norfolk today, a Class A opponent. It's Duncan Field, 4:30 starting time, 4:15 pregame show here on Extreme Sports. I want to talk about the Masters. It's going on. Did you catch any of the action yesterday?
Just a little bit. Thursdays is always like my really busy day because I've got CCC classes, and then I swing over to First Street to cap off the night. But did catch, I think, my favorite story, one that gives hope to us all, Mike Will. Nick Dunlap.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that, yeah.
Shot an 18 over par. He shot a 90 in round 1 at Augusta. And here's the thing, a couple things that I love about Nick Dunlap is a tweet coming out afterwards talking about, his 90 and followed up quickly by, at least I didn't have a 3-putt. Yeah. So he was able to shoot that 90, still didn't 3-putt. You take a look at his metrics, doesn't really have a great career driving off the tee box. That kind of set him up in some really bad spots. He was missing a lot of fairways. But yeah, he gives us some hope. If he can shoot 90s, I'm kind of on 18 in low triple-digit numbers. I'm still okay with admitting that I'm in low triple-digit numbers. I'm only about 10 strokes back from the pros, so let's go.
Dunlap, a 21-year-old. Last year he won on the PGA Tour as an amateur. He shot a 90 yesterday, highest score since Ben Crenshaw. Ooh. Shot a 91 in 2015 at the age of 63.
Little difference there.
Obviously, this guy, he'll be back out today, but he's far from making the cut or anything. But, yeah, at 90, we'll put him in our foursome.
Can't see a miracle run happening to try to make the cut for Nick Dunlap. But, like I said, he's taking it well and finding a little humor and admitting that at least he didn't have a three-putt. I thought that was a pretty good sport there from Nick Dunlap. But yeah,
Justin Rose, he was able to steal some of the attention away from Scotty Scheffler and Roy McIlroy. He shot a personal best yesterday, 7 under par 65. Justin Rose has a 3-stroke lead right now. Scheffler did his part to win a third Masters green jacket in 4 years. He had a bogey-free round of 68. So the guys we expected to be at the top of the leaderboard are there. The guys we expected to be at the bottom of the tote board, so to speak, is Nick Dunlap. That's probably what we expected out of a 21-year-old kid.
21-year-old amateur. I'll be very curious to see how Justin Rose goes about through the rest of the weekend. He's one of those names, and we even see for about 6 to 8 holes Fred Couples, right? Thursday, opening round of the Masters, Justin Rose has traditionally been one of those guys that shoots straight at the leaderboard, and as the weekend unfolds, starts to fade away a little bit and starts to trickle. I'll be curious to see if he's got enough gas in the tank here for the remaining 48 holes of Augusta, and to see if he can and turn that on. But yeah, 36 holes. What am I talking about? 40? I can't do math. I'll be curious to see if he can hang up there at the top of the leaderboard. But shot a very, very good round yesterday, and was watching some of his shots on the highlight reel, and looks to be in prime form.
All right, so that's what's going on with the Masters. They'll get underway here probably shortly. With the second round. Former Texas wide receiver, NFL draft prospect Isaiah Bond, he turned himself in on an outstanding sexual assault warrant yesterday down in Texas. He posted bail, $25,000. He was projected as a second-round draft pick. They had him at number 57 overall to the Carolina Panthers in ESPN analyst Mel Kiper Jr.'s most recent mock draft. Lone season at Texas in 2024. Got 34 passes, 540 yards, 5 touchdowns. Rushed for an additional 98 yards and a touchdown. Spent his first 2 seasons at Alabama, catching 65 passes for 888 yards and 5 touchdowns for the Crimson Tide. But he's in a little trouble here just a few weeks before the NFL draft, and obviously that's going to hinder probably his career. And I don't know. Do you take a guy like this with a second-round draft choice? Probably not.
No, I mean, not if you don't have all the information out yet. I mean, yeah, if he gets cleared before the draft starts, I think you can make that play. But if there's lingering litigation, especially when it comes to domestic assault, like there's zero tolerance policy in that for the NFL. There's zero tolerance policy for that in our society, and so you can't take a play like that.
All right, so that's a little things going on in the NFL. Also, the Colts are moving on from their kicker, Matt Gay, who signed with the team in 2023 as a free agent. He signed a 4-year deal worth $22.5 million. And at the time, that was the most lucrative contract given to a free agent kicker. But the move never truly paid off for the Colts. Gay converted on only 82% of his field goal attempts during the past 2 seasons, including a 50% success rate on attempts of 50 yards or longer. Before signing with Indy, Gay was a Super Bowl winner and a Pro Bowl selection with the Los Angeles Rams. So the Colts going to have a new kicker for the upcoming season.
Can't be 50% from beyond 50 yards when it's the Indianapolis Colts, because they're not going to get in the red zone a hell of a lot. You got to have a leg.
Yeah, you're kicking indoors for the most part.
Right? Yeah, can't be 50% from there.
Let's see what else is going on. Oh, here's another thing. The Jets are cleaning house. They got a new coach, new general manager, probably a new quarterback, new wide receiver. Devontae Adams has moved on. But Alan Lazard, he's going to stay with the Jets. He took a pay cut. He was thought to be a goner with the Jets because he had an $11 million base salary. That was coming up for 2025, but the two sides have restructured his contract after several weeks of negotiations. So he's going to move from $11 million down to $2.25 million with the possibility of game-by-game roster bonuses of $250,000. So Lazard is staying with the Jets. I don't know why you take a massive pay cut from $11 million down to $2.25 million to stay with the Jets, but Lazard obviously is staying in New York.
After you get over $1 million, does it really matter? I mean, like that's the thing is you hear these people that are like, man, he's taking a $9 million pay cut. He's still making $2 million a year. Like, he's still living comfortably. Like, let's not try to kid ourselves here.
I know, but yeah, after you make so much,
you already made $11 million last year. You're making $2 million this year plus incentives.
Well, look what he made before with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, guy just wants to play ball, man. Like he's made his money. He don't care.
Maybe he likes New York.
Probably loves New York.
So Lazard is staying with the Jets. It appears
he might be like me, man. He might just like be done moving. Like mentally, physically, like I am so tired of moving crap all around the place.
Yeah, he's probably got houses all over the nation.
Yeah,
on the market, probably up in Green Bay. I don't know if he sold his house up there.
I don't know.
Do these guys do they buy houses, or do they just move into luxurious types of townhomes and things like that, apartments? And I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm not an NFL player.
I'm not in that circle. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number if you'd like to join us here today. 402-834-1330. The line is always open. We'll chat about something we're chatting about or something on your mind today, maybe even non-sports related you want to talk about. Give us a call. We'd love to chat with you. Leave us a message on all of our social media sites as well. Got lots of people in the lobby today, so join us. Drop us a message if you'd like as you join us here at the breakfast table, huddle up on Extreme Sports. We'll get to this a little bit more later on this hour, but the NSAA Board of Directors yesterday voted to expand 8-man football classifications from 2 to 3, starting with the 2026 season. Part of the proposal, the enrollment eligibility for a school to participate in 8-man football would rise from 47 students to 55 students. Currently, there are 11 schools that have an enrollment under 55 students that compete in Class C2, including Amherst, Superior, and Hastings St. Cecilia. Each school would play 9 regular season games. The playoffs would include 16 schools per class.
Thank God.
Well, yeah,
I have been screaming for that for
I
the
know,
last 20 years.
But now we got another class.
Yeah, that's probably how you're able to do it.
So now we have another class, but now the 8-man playoffs will be back down to 16 schools instead of the 32 they had before. But the proposal could have an impact on the 8-man finals staying at Memorial Stadium.
Sure.
8-man finals are played in Lincoln the Monday before Thanksgiving. NSAA has been informed that Memorial Stadium would not be available for a third day of the finals. So are the 8-man football playoffs going to be heading somewhere else?
Right.
We could have 2 sites. We could have classes A, B, and C, C1 and C2, being played at Memorial Stadium, and the 8-man finals could be played somewhere else. Where would that be?
And you'd probably think Kearney comes to mind, or right here in H-Town, you know? I think we'd need more capacity. I think Foster could hold it.
Foster probably, with Shrine Bowls being played there now.
Yeah. The 6-man's being played there.
So that could be a possibility.
That makes a logical move.
Yeah, so that's an interesting deal there. I like that the playoffs are down to 16 schools per class, but now do we need another classification for 8-man football?
Right, you're not really losing any postseason teams because you've just gained a class.
Yeah.
So,
but there might be some teams that move from Class C2 to the 8-man ranks. I don't think St. Cecilia will. Just the talk that I have had over the past several years, St. Cecilia's always been kind of on the bubble, and they have no interest in going to 8-man football. I don't know about Superior. They were there once before. They played 8-man football. I think Amherst has played 8-man football before. So those teams currently on the bubble, they could go down to the 8-man ranks again. Yep. I don't know for sure, but
St. Cecilia would suit up band kids before they roll off into 8-man football. That's just my opinion. From as an alumni there, as somebody that still talks with a lot of people in the athletic circles. They have no interest in going down to 8-man.
That's the feeling I get, and in fact, when I've talked to Clint Head about this in the past,
sure.
He says there's no interest in moving to 8-man football for St. Cecilia. So I don't know, but interesting deal there. And his AA board of directors voting to expand the 8-man football classifications from 2 to 3 next year.
Good catch on that. I missed
next
all
year.
of the NSA meetings.
2026. It's not next year, so
right.
Next year is still the same format. All right, 7:16, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. We're going to be hearing from Dana Holgerson, who is the offensive coordinator for the Nebraska football team. He was before us yesterday as the Huskers continue their spring workouts in Lincoln. Jim Schleicher is going to join us, talk some horse racing here in a little bit, about 7:30 here this morning. But right now, let's get our first update on news.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Start with a couple ribbon cuttings. First in Grand Island, where the Grand Island Casino and Resort at Fauner Park opened its doors last night. A facility featuring 650 slot machines, 20 table games, a sports book, a variety of dining options, live weekend entertainment, a sports bar, a 116-room hotel, a salon and spa, an indoor-outdoor pool, and a gift shop. The facility also features top-floor dining at Ruthie's Steak and Seafood. Meanwhile, the official ribbon cutting was also held last night for the City of Kearney Sportsplex facility. During the event, Brenda Jansen, the city manager of Kearney, announced that the 3-lane running track around the gym space of the facility would be named in honor of Mike Morgan, the former Kearney city manager. The city of Hastings plans to publicly recognize the 4 members of Hastings Fire and Rescue who were able to safely remove the occupants of 1105 Jefferson Avenue during a house fire back on January 16th. Mayor Jay Beckby will present Chance Bronson, Colby Jensen, Jonas Marshall, and Tom Treffer with life-saving awards as part of the mayor's communication during the April 14th City Council meeting. The meeting begins at 6 p.m. City of Hastings also announcing 2 street closures on South Street that will be upcoming. City of Hastings will close South Street between Burlington and Lincoln Avenues for what is anticipated to be 2 days next week to accommodate sewer repairs in the area. The closure begins on Monday and is anticipated to be concluded by the end of day on Tuesday. West South Street between 1100 and 1300 blocks in Hastings will be closed this Friday through next Friday for sanitary sewer extension project. The area is west of Burlington Avenue between South Garfield and Bellevue Avenue and typically does not see a lot of traffic. We finish in D.C., where Nebraska 2nd District Congressman Don Bacon continues to sound the alarm on the widespread tariffs proposed by President Donald Trump. Trump walked back the tariffs on Wednesday, calling for a 90-day pause on implementing them on all of the countries except for China, where he even doubled down. Bacon believes that Congress should have more say on the tariffs, which is why he, earlier this week, introduced a bill in the U.S. House that would put limits on the presidential power to impose those tariffs. He had this to say about the bill.
I'm on the side of James Madison, right? He wrote the Constitution. And the founding fathers did not want to have one person have unilateral control over taxes and tariffs.
Both bills have received bipartisan support, but Trump has threatened to veto the proposed legislation. It's coming up on 7:20. Let's swing it over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's the haps in sports?
Well, Nebraska head men's basketball coach Fred Hoiberg has announced that Iowa transfer Price Sanford has officially signed with the Nebraska men's basketball program. Sanford has spent the last 2 seasons at Iowa, playing in 65 games. Last year, he averaged 8.8 points per game, while shooting 49% from the field and 40% from three-point territory. He also averaged 2.9 rebounds per game. In high school, he scored 1,695 points and was named Mr. Basketball in Iowa in 2023. The Nebraska baseball team will play at Iowa this weekend. First game is tonight at 6. The softball team has a 3-game series at Northwestern. First game is tomorrow at 2. Hastings College baseball team plays a 4-game series at Briar Cliff this weekend. Tomorrow's doubleheader gets underway at 1. The softball team will play host to the College of St. Mary's on Saturday. First pitch will be at 1. Pre-game show begins at 12:45 on Extreme Sports 2. The Nebraska Kearney softball team is on the road this weekend. The Lopers will play at Central Oklahoma today and at Newman University on Saturday. High school baseball yesterday. Adams Central won their 6th straight game with an 11-1 victory over Holdridge. The game was called in the 5th inning by the 10-run rule. Hunter Nuppel was the winning pitcher. He threw 5 innings and allowed 1 run and 4 base hits. He struck out 10, walked 2. He was also 3 for 3 at the plate with 3 RBIs. Jaron Johnson had 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Adams Central is now 9-3 on the season. They'll play host in Norfolk today. First pitch will be at 4:30. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 4:15. Other action yesterday, Grand Island beat Norfolk by the score of 9-0. York got by Platteview 2-0, and Wayne rolled past St. Paul Palmer by the score of 11-1. We're talking about the NSAA Board of Directors meeting, talking about 8-man football just a few minutes ago. NSAA has also approved a co-op with Harvard and Giltner for boys and girls basketball. Both girls teams were 1-21 last year with their lone wins of the season against each other. The girls boys basketball team was 7-17, while Harvard was 0-23. That's a check on your sports headlines here this morning. It's now 7:23 at Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Happy Friday, everybody, and today will be the best day of the week forecast-wise, and here's why. 72 degrees will be the high, plenty of sunshine, but almost no wind today. We'll have a north-northwest wind, 5 miles per hour. It'll turn to the south in the afternoon. Don't get that very often. The winds will come back on Saturday. In the meantime, 47 is the overnight low, 83 and windy on Saturday. We'll see wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Sunday, 73 and 60s next week.
Right now we've got north winds at 5 miles per hour. It is clear, and it's 35 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success. And now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Well, Tyson Havronik with you on this Friday morning, the 11th day of April for 2025. Again, 402-834-1330 is the telephone number. If you want to chime in with us, talk about anything we've been talking about or anything that's on your mind today, sports-related or not, leave us a message on our social media sites as well. We'd love to get to those comments as we work our way through this Friday morning. Again, we'll have high school baseball coming up later on today. Adams Central taking on Norfolk, a Class A opponent today. It'll be a starting time of 4:30 out at Duncan Field, 4:15 for the pregame show here on Extreme Sports.
There we go.
Is Jimmy Boy called in yet?
Jimmy is standing by.
Oh, I didn't see your message.
Jim is standing by. He's ready to roll. It's time to talk some ponies. The lobby is filling up. We need to fill up our pocketbooks with some cash. Let's do it.
All right, let's talk ponies, shall we?
They're moving into the gate.
And down the stretch they come in the Kentucky Derby, and Barbaro is running away. It's Edgar Prado aboard, and Barbaro is going to win this Derby by 6 lengths. Blue Best had second. From far back, Steppenwolfer came on to be third.
right, it's a Friday. We always talk horses on Friday. Jim Schleicher from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network is going to join us again. Jimmy, good morning and welcome back, my man.
Morning, guys. Beautiful weekend shaping up here for a good weekend of racing here at Fawner Park. Weather's going to be hot, and so's the races.
Jim, as we open up here on opening or on this weekend, I mentioned it earlier, kind of a landmark weekend for Fawner Park, as it is the first weekend with the newly built casino and resort that is now fully operational. Had the ribbon cutting yesterday evening at 6 p.m. A lot of dignitaries in attendance to kind of christen the new casino. But this is exciting not only for the city of Grand Island and not only for Central Nebraska, but I think horse racing across the state is all going to see the benefit moving forward here from this casino.
This is exciting with the casino opening because we all know that the casino helps fund the purses. They've already put in, just with the temporary casino open, over $2.8 million towards the horsemen and the purses. And having this full-fledged casino hotel open should only draw in more people, increase those, help increase the funding for the purses. And when we see that, that should really help bring in more horses, bring in better horses as the purses increase. And it's exciting to see what happens with racing. It should really be fantastic for the Nebraska breeding industry and the owners, because this, as the purses increase, gives more incentive to breed and run horses here in the state of Nebraska.
Jim, I can just imagine what the crowds are going to be like this weekend between the casino. Saturdays are always a busy day anyway at the track, so there should be a lot of people mulling around the Fawner Park, the Fawner Park area come Saturday.
Yeah, I think there will be. You want to make sure you get there early for parking. Parking's been a bit of a fiasco, but they do run the trolley systems and the trams to get you to the door. So, let's get out here and see what's going on. I do think it should be a big crowd out here because people are going to want to see what that casino and a new hotel is like. But also there's some really good racing going on this weekend.
Jim Schleicher again from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us here on Huddle Up this morning as we talk shop and talk about the weekend card for Fawner Park. Last weekend it was the Dowd Mile Stakes, the race that you had pegged perfectly, Jim, with the 3-horse and Arthurian. He comes through for not only my birthday party, but I think for a lot of the other folks there at Fawners, they were cheering that 3-horse down the line. This week it's the Baxter Stakes coming up in the 9th over at Fawner, and a horse that we both have circled here is the 4 in Maximum Grace. Let's talk a little bit about this race and the field that 4-horse is going to go through.
Well, this is kind of an interesting race because the Baxter Stakes is limited to 3-year-olds. And if you look when you're reading the forums, a lot of the races are written for 3-year-olds and up. So 3-year-olds, especially early in the year, have to face older horses as a bit of a challenge. But now in the Baxter Stakes, they are racing against their own age group. So that really changes things a little bit because, racing against your own group is like kind of almost like a freshman in high school trying to go up against a senior who's a little more mature. So it evens the playing field here. So some of these horses in this race maybe didn't win last time out, maybe didn't look like they run that great, but yet they're running in allowance competition against older horses that were more mature, and now they're back against their own. Should make a big difference.
So is that the favorites, the horse Tyson was talking about, and I think you got him pegged as well as I looked at your predictions this morning.
Well, yeah, Maximum Grace come in for Izzy Gonzalez. He comes up from Fairgrounds. He's had one race here. He run 3rd in that race, and he got beat by Ship's Log. That was a pretty tough race that he was in. And so now I said we're dropping back and we're going against just 3-year-olds. He's got the running style that fits the track bias, as we've talked about almost every week. The track bias, if you're not in the top 3, going down that back stretch, you're probably not going to be a part of the win. Occasionally one will get there, but Maximum Grace fits that style. He raced against older horses down at the fairgrounds. He was on the lead. He's got leading rider in Kevin Roman who can get a horse out of the gate. Everything looks to be in his favor there. You know, another horse that's kind of interesting, if you look at the horse number 2, Guns, still a maiden. But if we look at the breeding on that horse, Gunrunner, that stands at a $50,000 stud fee. The owner of that horse bought that out of a sale for $300,000. It's a very slow maturing horse. He was with Dwayne Lucas down at out in Kentucky. He run twice. Let's put it this way, man, he looks sad. He never beat a horse. Dwayne kind of got rid of him out of the barn, but he brings him down here. He's under Jason Wise. He's starting to show maturity. Some horses take a long time to fill out a big body, and Guns is that type of horse. And so I wouldn't throw that horse out neither. Guns could be the interesting upsetter in this field.
Again, we're talking with Jim Schleicher here as we take a look at Saturday's card in specifics, and we'll probably talk some Friday, maybe get your weekend off to a early jump here in just a little bit. But I want to talk about a long shot play on Saturday with you, Jim. In race 3, and I have to ask about this horse because it's got a very similar name. The 2-horse Schleicher, currently listed as a 15-1 on the morning line. Do you have any influence on this horse? And is some of your winning history at Fawner partly to blame for the name here?
No, I have nothing to do with the name. That was kind of a shock when he showed up a couple years ago. He was running under the name of Stetson Mitchell. Stetson bought him out of a sale after he'd only run one race, and he won a maiden race, and I believe it was, it was back east, and he won by like 17 lengths. Then they put him in the sale, and Stetson bought him for $30,000, and shows up at Fawner. And I was excited because that horse had showed so much promise as a 2-year-old in breaking his maiden, and well, things didn't quite turn out. He runs kind of like I do.
Again, we're talking ponies here today with Jim Schleicher. What about the best bets for the weekend, Jim? What were you looking at?
Well, on Friday, I go straight to the very first race. I don't know why. Race 1's been the hot race for me lately. But number 3, Addie's Thunder. This horse gets a big jockey change in David Cardoso, and I don't think there's a better rider at Fawner Park for getting a horse out of the gate in a 4-furlong race. David just has a knack for getting the best there is out of a horse going 4 furlongs, and so I look for him to get Addie's Thunder straight out of the gate and straight to the win. And so that's my best bet on Friday. And now if we move over on Saturday to the best bet, I'm looking at race 1 again in Mischief Machine. If you follow power ratings at all in the form, this horse has really good power ratings compared to the rest of the field. Now, he was running at the fairgrounds. He wasn't necessarily winning, but he was running against a lot better competition than what we've seen with the rest of these horses. So he was close. Now, his last race, he didn't do real well. Last race was he got beat by 19 lengths. But that was totally off for him. I think he'll bounce back and get the win. Now, if you want some long shots for the weekend, let's jump to Friday and go to race number 10. Race number 4, number 10, She Ain't a Beauty. I don't know what to say. How can you race 5 and 6 wide? It's like running a track meet, having everybody on the inside lane, and you're out there in lane number 6, and you got to run that whole way around the track, not being able to drop in. That's what She's a Beauty did last time. She got beat. She run 3rd. But the horse that she was only a half length behind, She's a Caution, is actually the morning line favorite. Now, if you're going to give me a choice of a morning line favorite that only got beat or that only beat this other horse by a half length, and that horse had that much problems, I'm going to take the odds of 8 or 10 to 1, and I'm going to bet on She's a Beauty, saying that she gets a better trip this time. And another one for Saturday, race 7, number 5, is Philly Alpine Ash. If you want to go back and watch some videos of that race, you can always see those, watch video replays on the Fawner replay site. She had a lot of trouble last time. She went out for the lead, or she actually run up beside the leaders going into the far corner. Kevin Roman was riding her. She lacked some room on the rail, backed out. And when she backed out, she lost all momentum and ended up, if I remember right, finishing 5th that day, quite a few lengths off the lead. But she moved up on the inside to challenge for the lead when that happened. So she'd have had a lot better finishing position. She'd have probably won the race. And the other thing, if you go back and look at her, a lot of her races this year, they've had a hard time finding races to fill with her. So what she's done is she's actually been running against the boys. Until that last race, she'd been running against the boys, and just the difference in going a distance with the fillies going against the Colts and Geldings puts her at a disadvantage. So she really wasn't running that bad of races, and so I really look for Alpine Ash to come out today, running against her Saturday against fillies to blow them away. I think she'll be at some good odds too.
Another one in that 7th race, if we're going to go ahead and put together an exotic together here, Jim, I'm in the inside stable position next to you at the starting gate. I kind of have my eyeballs here on the 4 and Judge Jennings, and I think he's getting some really good odds here, on at least in terms of the early morning line. That could fluctuate as we get into Saturday, but what's your thoughts on Mr. Jennings?
He's kind of struggled this year. He's in a good barn with Marvin Johnson. Normally I would think he's had David Cardoso riding him, that he'd be able to get out of the gate. But David wasn't able to. Now he's changing riders and going back to Travis Cunningham. Travis hasn't been on him before, but the horse has had some really good talent in the past. I just don't quite know what to say. He's kind of in a lull right now. Last year he ran some really nice races here. He could very well put it all together and be part of this, though.
All right, again, we're talking with Jim Slacker, Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network, talking about everything that's all ponies at Fawner Park. What about nationally, Jim? Anything going on this weekend there that we need to be aware of?
Well, nationally it's kind of slowing down as far as Derby prep races. We're only 3 weeks out. There is one, quote, Derby prep race. That's the Lexington Stakes coming from Keeneland. But that's only a 20-point race for the winner. Whoever wins this race, they'll get the 20 points for winning it towards the Derby. But even with 20 points, none of them would crack the top 20. So there'd have to be some defections there. It is a pretty good race, though. A lot of these horses have been trying to qualify for the Derby, haven't quite made it. There's a horse there's a couple of them I like in here, but I look at a horse called Prater. He got beat in after one of the Kentucky Derby favorites, but he also, when he was running, he broke his maiden against one of the Derby favorites this year, Sovereignty. He actually beat Sovereignty in a maiden race at Aqueduct last year. He's a very lightly raced horse. He's only raced like 3 times. He'll be out on the lead, and in this short field, I really think Prater has a fantastic chance of taking that group wire to wire. But will he be in the Derby? We probably won't see him there, even if he does win the race. And on the national level, one of the most exciting races, it might not be a close race, going down to Oaklawn. They're starting to wrap up their season down there, a couple more weeks, but the Apple Blossom is running today for fillies and mares, and that has last year's standout filly, Torpedo Anna. Torpedo Anna is anything but she's just sensational, and she's a beautiful horse to watch. I watched her at the Breeders' Cup, watched her live there, you won't find a more magnificent animal than her right now. And so she's in the apple blossom down at Oaklawn, and she'll be a heavy favorite, but she sure is fun to watch.
Jim, last question before we let you go here. Did Mike's 10 horse get off the track in time for this weekend?
Did what now? I'm sorry.
I asked if his 10 horse got off the track. Last update, I think he was still around in turn 3 when we got into the show on Monday morning. He bet a long shot, so just making sure the track's clear and ready to go for Friday.
Well, I kind of think maybe that 10 horse. Mike must have been sharing some of that garage beer with him to test it out. So.
Yeah, that thing is still coming around the corner. So make sure the track is clear by the time we race this afternoon. And we tried to make up some money at the end of the races on Sunday with I think it was an 85-1 shot, and it was not very good, Jimmy. He trailed the field, and that's probably why he was 85-1, huh?
That could have been, he was probably part of the birthday celebration, and we just didn't see him standing there behind it.
All right, Jim, it's always nice to catch up with you each and every Friday here. If you want to follow Jim's picks, you can every day of the Fowler Park racing season. Just go to your group Facebook page, right, Jim?
That is correct. You can go to the Facebook group, Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. We'll have insights and predictions throughout the week on all the races for Fowler Park. We'll also have some insightful articles about some owners, trainers, different horses, things like that. I do want to throw one out there. There's an interesting fact about a trainer at Fowler Park right now. He's leading the standings with Mark Hibden, but what a lot of people don't realize is, as an owner, Mark Hibden is sitting number 5 in the country, not Nebraska, but in the country for owner wins this year. He also finished 5th in the nation last year in 5th for owner wins. It's really exciting to see that. Mark's horses as an owner earned over $1 million last year, and he owns and trains all his own horses.
All right, that's a good little fact there. Yeah, just go through the racing form and find out who the hell's running out of his stable, and there's your first selection, huh?
Yeah, and Mark, like I said, he is the leading trainer at Fowler Park, and he runs a lot of horses. But I'll tell you what, when he runs them, he runs them to win. He places them where they can win. And I did an interview with him this last week, and it was very insightful listening to him. He don't care. If he loses a horse, he loses a horse. He says, I'd rather spot them where they can win than run them where I'm afraid to lose them and they don't do anything. So you see a lot of his horses get claimed, and you see him claim a lot of horses. He's a blue-collar trainer that you don't see him with a lot of stakes horses. He's not a Bob Baffert that has all these wonderful horses coming in off the farms from everybody. His horses are generally 90% of his horses cost him $5,000 or less, and he claims them off the track. He said he'd just as soon let everybody else go to the sale, and he'll claim them from them when they run them.
Good philosophy, I guess. It's working for him. So, Jimmy, thanks for checking in with us, and good luck at the races this weekend.
Well, thank you, guys, and we hope to see you all out there, and let's make some money. As they say, you can bet on it.
All right, Jim Slacker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network getting us up to date on the ponies this weekend, not only at Fowler Park, but also across the nation. Tyson, as we move on here, 7:47, waking up with Mike and Tyson here on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. We do have some breaking news. Evidently, Hastings College has fired head baseball coach Steve Maddock. That has been confirmed. I was working on that here this morning during the show, but that's been confirmed now that Hastings College has fired head baseball coach Steve Maddock. The Broncos currently sitting at 7-23 in the season this year. They are 4-12 in the Great Plains Athletic Conference, but the Broncos are cutting ties with their baseball coach. The Hastings College baseball team is scheduled to play a 4-game series at Briar Cliff this weekend with 2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday. But again, Steve Maddock, the head baseball coach at Hastings College, has been fired as the head man of the Broncos.
We got breaking news this morning, and it's one that normally breaking news happens like at 8:05, right after we wrap up shop. But able to get some breaking news here on the Hastings College baseball front. So good work on getting that all confirmed and sewed up. So they'll be in a different direction. Yeah,
rolling along here.
Some roulade here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get out your mug. Get out your mug, everyone. Let's talk some more spring football. Dana Holgerson, the offensive coordinator, is going to join us here this morning. And so far, Coach says spring practice going well. He says it has been a bit on the physical side, though.
Did a team run period today. Was the first time that we worked third and short. That looked kind of like it should, just from a physicality standpoint. We've got a lot of 9-on-7 periods in. Starting to get a lot more team in. The first thing coach has done a good job of the drills were so important early. We had all kinds of indie and special teams drills, one-on-one periods, just individualized stuff. And as spring goes on, you get more and more team stuff, and so, we got healthy numbers, which is allowing us to get 3 groups. I've never been able to do 3 groups in spring, and we're maintaining being able to do 3 groups. So everybody's getting reps, everybody's getting looked at, everybody's getting evaluated, and we're getting a lot of team reps, which is encouraging.
We also talked about the wide receivers yesterday, and he says the wide receiving core is a work in progress.
Just from this is how we're going to do it type thing, that's not going to happen overnight either. Fortunately, you have, you got some vets in there I consider Luke a skill guy, Lindenmeyer. I mean, he's a veteran guy that is coming into his own. Dane Keys played a lot. He gets more comfortable with Dylan every day. Is starting to show up, Bonner is a tough guy that's a skill guy that plays a whole lot of things and just a tough guy that plays fast. And then Jacory's a vet as well. And Isaiah Hunter made a couple of plays today that I've been waiting on him. So it's starting to make sense to those guys that have logged reps, and then, the young guys just got to keep plugging away. A lot of times those guys their heads spinning. We've got pretty much everything in. And I call it if we get into situational stuff, third downs, everything's on the table. It's not just the plays of the day. You get down into the red zone, everything's on the table. It's not just the plays of the day. So you can see their heads, the younger guys, Cortez and Isaiah, those guys are, their heads are spinning when you put it all together, which is understandable. The good news is it's spring practice, going on number 10. So we got 5 more opportunities to coach them and then come back in June and work more football, before the real deal happens.
Also talked about the running backs yesterday. He says Emmett Johnson is playing well, but there are some others.
Quentin Ives is showing up, and the rest of them are all just young, that just need 100 reps. They need 1,000 reps at things, so they're giving good effort. EJ, we'll talk a little bit more about those guys when he comes up, but just young guys that need to come on. They need to keep playing and keep repping to see who that third guy can be, because that third guy is going to happen. I've never went into a season where the third guy is not a reality at some point. The fourth guy is not a reality at some point. So those guys need to understand that and treat every practice like it's I got to get better at something time.
And the coach also talked about Quentin Ives. He says he's much improved from late last year.
Just playing with better pad level, just getting his pads low, running hard, running physical, being physical and pass protection. He's just, I go back to when I was here for the last 3 games. I mean, he wasn't a guy that we could count on at that point, and then the amount of time that he repped in December was really, really, really good for him. Okay, and went into the bowl game and scored a touchdown on the goal line. I think that gave him some confidence, and it's carried over. The good news is it's carried over. In January, February, March, he knew it was his time and took that seriously. And then we're out there for 9 practices. He's been a guy that we can count on for 9 practices.
All right, Dana Holgerson, the offensive coordinator for the Nebraska football team, heading into practice number 10. 10 of 15 for spring football practice. So the Huskers into their final stretch before they take a little while to take off, and then they're back at it in June, I guess. So you get ready for the first game. Cincinnati, down at Arrowhead Stadium.
Down at Arrowhead. That's right.
Drink the Roulade. One more sip here this morning.
I ran out of sips in my first coffee cup. I had to take a break halfway through Dana and go get a fresh cup of coffee. And so we're ready to get that season underway. Just looking forward to it. But lots to get to first. Long way to go. A lot of baseball to be played.
All right, moving along. Friday morning, huddle up on Extreme Sports 7:54.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We will start first in Washington, D.C., where Nebraska 2nd District Congressman Don Bacon continues to sound the alarm on the widespread tariffs that have been proposed by President Donald Trump. In a wild week of tariffs, it was Trump walking back the tariffs Wednesday, calling for a 90-day pause on implementing them on all countries except for China, to which he then doubled down. Bacon believes that Congress should have more say on tariffs, which is why he, earlier this week, introduced a bill in the U.S. House that would put limits on presidential power to impose said tariffs, and had this to say about the bill.
I'm on the side of James Madison, right? He wrote the Constitution, and the founding fathers did not want to have one person have unilateral control over taxes and tariffs.
Bacon's bill has received bipartisan support in D.C., but President Trump has threatened to veto the proposed legislation. Meanwhile, the Grand Island Casino and Resort at Fauner Park opened its doors last night. The facility featuring 650 slot machines, 20 table games, a sports book, and a variety of dining options, including Ruthie's Steak and Seafood. They'll have live weekend entertainment. They'll have a sports bar, 116-room hotel, a salon and spa, an indoor-outdoor pool, as well as a gift shop. This will be opening weekend for the Grand Island Casino and Resort at Fauner Park, with the horses running this weekend as well. The official ribbon cutting was also held last night in the city of Kearney for their new Sportsplex facility. During the event, Brenda Jansen, the city manager of Kearney, announced that the 3-lane running track around the gymnasium space at the facility would be named in honor of Mike Morgan, the former city manager. 7:56, we'll swing it over to the East Side Studios. Mike, quick check on sports.
Yeah, breaking news this morning. Just received word a few minutes ago that Steve Maddock, the head baseball coach at Hastings College, has been fired. The Broncos currently sitting at 7-23 in the season, 4-12 in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. Scheduled to play 4 games up in Sioux City this weekend against the Briarcliff Chargers. 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. But again, Steve Maddock has been fired as the head baseball coach at Hastings College. Nebraska head men's basketball coach Fred Hoiberg has announced that Iowa transfer Price Sanford has officially signed with the Nebraska men's basketball program. He spent the last 2 seasons at Iowa playing in 65 games. Last year, he averaged 8.8 points per game while shooting 49% from the field and 40% from three-point territory. The Nebraska baseball team will play at Iowa this weekend. First game is tonight at 6. Softball team is a 3-game series at Northwestern. First game is tomorrow at 2 o'clock. High school baseball action yesterday. Adams Central won their 6th straight game with an 11-1 victory over Holdridge. The game was called in the 5th inning by the 10-run rule. Hunter Nuppel was the winning pitcher. He threw 5 innings, allowed 1 run and 4 base hits. He struck out 10, walked 2. He was also 3 for 3 at the plate with 3 RBIs. Jaron Johnson had 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Adams Central is now 9-3 in the season. They'll play host in Norfolk today. First pitch will be at 4:30. We'll have the action on Extreme Sports beginning with the pregame show at 4:15. And the NSAA Board of Directors has voted to expand the 8-man football classifications from 2 to 3 starting with the 2026 season. Plus, the NSAA has approved a co-op now between Harvard and Giltner for boys and girls basketball. That's a check in your sports headlines, 7:58 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Happy Friday, everybody, and today will be the best day of the week forecast-wise, and here's why. 72 degrees will be the high, plenty of sunshine, but almost no wind today. We'll have a north-northwest wind, 5 miles per hour. It'll turn to the south in the afternoon. Don't get that very often. The winds will come back on Saturday. In the meantime, 47 is the overnight low, 83 and windy on Saturday. We'll see wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Sunday, 73 and 60s next week.
North winds this morning at 5 miles per hour, 35 degrees at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson O'Brien. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Friday. Again, we'll have high school baseball coming up this afternoon. Adams Central and Norfolk from Duncan Field. 4:15 pregame show, 4:30 for the first pitch this afternoon. And we'll have Hastings College softball tomorrow on Extreme Sports 2. It'll be Hastings College up against the College of St. Mary's, a doubleheader out at the Smith Complex. 1 o'clock starting time, 12:45 for the pregame show on Extreme Sports 2. So that's what's going on in our airways. We're going to have a Masters golf tournament going on the Tube for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The final 18 holes on Sunday. So that'll take most of the spotlight off of TV this weekend with the Masters.
Yeah. Masters golf this weekend. Planning for watching a little bit Saturday, but we got obviously softball on the air on the stream. So we are focused on the Broncos softball team and looking forward to chatting with Coach Baker and the rest of the gang and putting eyeballs on that softball team, see if they can get some momentum here at home. So that should be an entertaining softball series. And then what a full plate for a Friday and squeezing it all in here before 8:02. We have just about everything in the kitchen sink and some breaking news today. So
I've also noticed you're wearing your St. Louis Cardinals attire today. Is there a special reason for that today? Just is that because it's the only thing clean in your laundry basket?
No, I wear baseball jerseys on the daily here on the show. 90% of the baseball jerseys I own are St. Louis Cardinal jerseys. This is just the next one up in rotation. So.
All right. I didn't know if there's anything special going on with the Cards this weekend or what, that you're trying to get an early start on things. But
no, it's just comfy as hell.
All right, so lots going on today. We snuck everything in. I hope you have a good time with the races this weekend. Make a little money. Take Jim's picks and take her to the bank, so to speak. So,
take her to the bank.
Baseball this afternoon, softball tomorrow, and we'll get back together again on Monday morning. Anything else we need to hit today?
I think we've covered all the bases and then some.
Yeah, I've got some more information on. Remember earlier this week when they had that GoPro video that the quarterbacks wore at Nebraska? And,
yeah.
I'll have some more on that coming up next week, and have a chance to get. They talked with Dana about that, and he had some interesting thoughts on that. So we'll get to that on Monday morning.
Also on Monday morning, want to get out a subtle plug and a bug early for our listeners that are hanging out overtime with us. We're going to be talking about beer. We talked about beer a lot this week with Garage Beer.
Yeah.
Now we talk about craft beer. Do the Brew going to be coming up on the 22nd. So I'll sit down with Megan Arrington Williams, and we'll have a conversation about the Big Large Brew Festival that's going to be coming to the City Auditorium as well as downtown Hastings. So more on that coming up on Monday's show as well.
All right. So a lot of great things coming up. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, everybody about our show here on Extreme Sports, 7 until 8, Monday through Friday. You can listen to the show again today if you'd like. Go to our podcast sections on our social media sites, and you'll be able to download the show. And definitely leave us a message anytime or call us. We'd love to chat with you. Anyway, have yourself a great weekend. We'll do it again on Monday here on Extreme Sports.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us